Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Joining me on the phone, Representative Avery Borne, back on the program. Welcome back.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me. Happy Monday.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was really good. We hosted, so it was a lot of work, but really so much fun.
A lot of work, a lot of fun. Sometimes you need to put in the effort to have that much fun, right?
That's right. And I love hosting, and it was good to see everybody, and the leftovers are always a bonus. So.
Yeah, definitely. And so you're obviously, it is still kind of your, and I say this loosely, your quote unquote downtime. But you're still very busy. You're in the middle of drafting some bills. What are you in the process of right now? And yeah, let's start with that. What are you in the process of right now? What are you working on?
Yeah, we get kind of this season to work on our legislative proposals to propose in January. And so I know we'll talk more broadly about bigger picture items that we want to introduce, but also some of the best pieces of legislation that we're able to introduce are ones where folks come to us and they say, here's a hole or a problem in the law that's pretty easy to fix, or sometimes something that's overlooked. And so we're working on those. I've gotten a few from folks about, obviously the FOID is a big issue, but other like smaller issues with the FOID or with inconsistencies in hunting seasons, or certainly there are really terrible situations in family law where they think it could be better. So we've gotten quite a few of those that we're working through, but if other folks have bill ideas, now's the time to let me know and we can start working on them.
FOID is the firearm identification system, right? If I understand correctly.
Yes, it is. And we have had historic delays in people being able to get those processed. And so certainly we need a fix for that. Or the courts could strike down the FOID. That's another option. But that's been a big area of frustration for a lot of constituents.
Right. It's either do away with it, but is it likely to happen? Maybe not. So really it's working within the framework to make it better is what it sounds like you're trying to do with FOID.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that's the most plausible way forward. I don't think that we have a majority of folks in the legislature who would vote to get rid of it. So like I said, I think the only way that happens is through the courts. But we've got to make it better because it's just been a total failure on behalf of the Pritzker administration to allow these delays to go on this long for law-abiding citizens.
You also mentioned family law. What concerning family law has been drawn to your attention thanks to constituents, and what are you working on to address it?
Yeah, we've had a few issues, and most of these are pretty, no one goes through a family law issue without some kind of major change in their lives, right? It could be an adoption or something like that, but usually it's something that's really hard on the kids or the parents or both. And so there's not always an easy way to fix this, but we've had issues with visitation rights, with speedy hearings, with different kinds of custodial agreements. There are always families who have challenges in this area, and so trying to find a fix is an important job that we have to make sure that people's interactions with the court system is as smooth and painless as possible.
You're working on a rather big picture piece of legislation as well, the Reimagine Illinois bill. What is that?
Yeah, so House Republicans have come up with what we think are 4 or 5 areas that are really important to every Illinoisan, and we think we can find bipartisan solutions to fix Illinois, frankly. And so it's a package of bills that we've put together that focus on fiscal responsibility, so spending within our means, being good stewards of taxpayer dollars, public safety, making sure that we're supporting our law enforcement and having safe communities, also jobs and opportunities for our families. So that's everything from being able to have childcare, get a good education, stay in Illinois to go to college, get a good job, retire here. So whole lifespan, having good opportunities for everybody in Illinois. And then ending the culture of corruption. And this one, I think, has to happen first so that we're holding politicians accountable and people can trust government. So those are really big picture things that we're working on, real life solutions that we are proposing this upcoming January.
Yeah, the corruption you said really has to happen first. What in this bill is going to address that culture of corruption, as you call it?
Yeah, there are a few ways that we are going about this. So, number one is to hold current politicians accountable. So, that means empowering our legislative watchdog, the legislative inspector general. It means making sure that there aren't these conflicts of interest that are so prevalent that we've seen in some of these, federal investigations against lawmakers. Making sure that legislators can't serve as lobbyists at the same time. These are really common sense things. And then we need to make sure that going forward, we don't have somebody like a Mike Madigan again. And so leadership term limits and holding people to public service, which is supposed to be the goal, is also part of the package.
And you also mentioned, good paying jobs and having them retire in Illinois. And I mean, I think that's one most lawmakers in Illinois want, is for their constituents to have good paying jobs and to be able to take care of their families and retire in the state. But what in this package do you feel is going to help that even further?
Yeah, so it's everything from job training, training our people for the jobs that we have available, allowing businesses to start here and stay here. So making us more competitive with surrounding states, bringing down the tax burden, bringing down the regulatory burden, and then, making sure people can afford to live here. So that goes to property taxes, making sure that our education system is something where they can send their kids to good schools. So it's really all encompassing, but also if we have more jobs here and better paying jobs and more people stay here, that increases our tax revenue at the state, which helps us be better fiscal stewards. So it really is all of these things need to happen, and we are stepping up to propose solutions.
And, the training it sounds like it's a big part of this. What type of industries rather could you see training in to really boost that effort more?
Yeah, we have bills for increasing apprenticeship programs. So, I mean, these are skilled trades that we want to make sure students know they have an alternative to college to go into these apprenticeship programs and get really good paying jobs afterwards. We've got a lot of jobs sitting open. We've got a lot of CDL jobs sitting open. And so our community colleges do a really good job of training folks with CDLs. That's more of an awareness issue. And then having really high quality, affordable higher education so people can train for tech jobs at the places like data centers that are coming into Illinois. We're one of the most competitive states for data centers now. So we need really highly educated tech people. I am certainly not educated in that field. We need people who have those kind of smarts to come here, get educated here, stay here, and work here.
What else do you feel that needs to be highlighted in the Reimagine Illinois bill package?
Yeah, I think that we are planning on adding another area. Education has been such a focus of my constituents and of people across the state. So we're working on a package right now that includes education. So parents having the right to have a say in their students' education, along with making students are in school, making sure teachers have the resources that they need. And so that's really the area where we're focusing on working the most in these last couple of weeks before January and getting the right package put together on education.
All right, gonna go ahead and head to a quick break, and then we'll talk a little bit more with you, Representative Bourne. All the things regarding Reimagine Illinois, and also talking a little bit about the lawsuit over legislative maps. That's all coming up here on the WTIM Morning Show, here on WTIM, your information station.
This is a station editorial. I'm Randall J. Miller, station president. Well, we made it to the holiday season. What a year. Again. In looking back at 2021, we are so thankful for so many things: our faith, our family, our friends, and our business. And while the world and our country are both hopefully coming out of the pandemic, let's hope and pray that the rancor and noise we've heard from both sides of the political spectrum subsides into realizing that no matter what the issue, as I've been saying for the past nearly 2 years, the answer is still in the middle. We're grateful to all of you for the honor of serving our communities with local information and entertainment on all of our platforms, whether they be AM, FM, or digitally. As we begin 2022, we thank God for the privilege of serving the Taylorville, Pana, and Shelbyville areas for going on 30 years. And we also begin our 15th year of serving the Clinton, Monticello, and Lincoln areas. It's been a challenging year for everyone, no matter what your profession or business. We've gotten through 2021 and the 2 years of the pandemic together, encouraging each other, helping each other, and hopefully have learned a lot. On behalf of my wife, Kathy, and our great staffs in Taylorville and Clinton, have a joyous and blessed holiday season. And remember the reason for the season. Jesus came to earth so that we can have life everlasting by accepting his love. May we share that love to each other and our communities this holiday season and as we enter 2022. That's our opinion. We welcome yours. Our email address is editorial@randyradio.com.
If you're looking for local hunting and fishing information, then join us for Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, Saturdays at 10 a.m. here on WTIM. Every weekend, we'll offer detailed local fishing reports from professional guides. We'll swap stories with local celebrity sportsmen, and I'll invite you to share your stories as well. Central Illinois Outdoors with Jared White, every Saturday morning at 10 on all WTIM platforms. And on demand at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. Brought to you by Bob Ridings in Pana and the Clinton, Illinois Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau.
Steve Craig's here with Craig's Realtors in Taylorville. We help more buyers and sellers than any real estate agency in Christian County. Find out how we can help you by clicking on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Larry Peterson with the Wrap Pack Ship Center, your Taylorville and Christian County UPS outlet. Click on our icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com for our weekly specials.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper here with Representative Avery Borne. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And well, I think one of the big stories that you and me have talked about just about every time is this debacle over redrawing of the district and maps. I mean, it's a very big issue. Happens once every 10 years, but these maps, you know, Republicans and with great, I'm trying to figure out the way. There's great reason to be upset about these maps, and legally speaking, you have every right to be upset about these maps. And there's a lawsuit coming up here that you guys have been involved in that, well, the judge looks like he is going to make a decision on soon. That's the long-winded way of saying there's a lawsuit coming up, and, you know, maybe provide a little bit of background on it, Representative Borne.
Yeah, and I know this topic just won't quit. We've talked about it several months. Hopefully by next month, we'll have an answer. And the Illinois Republican Party, the House and Senate Republican caucuses, along with MALDEF, which is the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund, and the NAACP, filed a lawsuit against the Illinois Democrats for drawing this crazy map that disempowers minority voters, certainly disempowers Republicans across the state. It's drawn for partisan advantage. But interestingly, since we last spoke, President Biden's DOJ is filing very similar lawsuits in Republican states. But of course, they're not going to file that kind of lawsuit in Illinois. So we're on the same side of a lot of people around the country who are saying, stop drawing these partisan gerrymandered maps. There was a court hearing last week before the 3-judge panel, and we're expecting some kind of decision in the next couple of weeks, hopefully before the end of the year. And ultimately, that will potentially have a big impact on who's able to pick their elected official instead of elected officials picking voters. But we'll see in the next couple of weeks if there's an update.
Feels like gerrymandering at this point in 2021, nearly 2022, everyone can agree that gerrymandering is bad. And it seems to me that the awareness of gerrymandering seems to be more widespread, right? It's not just so much. I think when gerrymandering, the topic just came out, it was like these, like 2 or 3 southern states that are doing it, and it's so bad. But now it feels like there's so many more areas that this is becoming an issue on. It almost feels like a nationwide issue as President Biden is doing something about those red states, but got to be able to do something about the blue states that are also gerrymandered as well.
I think you're right. I think there is a heightened awareness around gerrymandering, and I think it's because people feel it, right? They go to the ballot, and oftentimes in these gerrymandered maps, they don't have another option. There's only the incumbent because the map is drawn to protect that incumbent, no matter which party it is. And that's not how the system's supposed to work. I think people want fairness, and they want options, and they want a true voice, and ending gerrymandering is a good way to do that.
Red or blue, gerrymandering is not for you. Oh, I just came up
There
with
you go.
it.
I like it.
There you go. Maybe something you can use later on. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit of local. The Taylorville Junior High 7th grade girls basketball team are the state champions right in your home district, Representative Borne.
Yes, I'm so excited for them. Also, especially after the last couple of years when student athletics has been kind of in flux, to have this kind of victory for the team and for the community is really exciting. I am looking forward to inviting them to the Capitol. Usually state champions get to come up and come to the Capitol and kind of take a victory lap. So hopefully we can get that scheduled in the new year.
That'd be really cool. And you know what I'm really excited for? I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but those girls are just so talented. And we actually have and I'm sure you know this, we have a very talented high school varsity team that's pretty young, lots of freshmen leading that squad. And so in 2 years, when those junior hires, those 7th graders come into high school, that's going to be a really fun varsity team to watch, I think.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm really excited for. That gym's going to be packed.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun. I'm so excited for these girls to have this opportunity, and it's good for the community. It's good for the town.
Yeah, it's really good. And what are some things that maybe you'll or some events that you'll be showing up to in the next couple of weeks before Christmas time?
Yeah, anything with Christmas lights, we will try to be at. My 2-year-old loves looking at Christmas lights. And then we've got some Christmas parties going on. So I'm headed to a Christmas party tomorrow and the next day. So this is the time to be with community, to celebrate everybody being able to be together. And ultimately, it's the best time of the year. These are my favorite kinds of events. They're not political. They're not, right? It's just to celebrate and be together. And what a fun time to do that.
Christmas in the park, anybody? Manners Park? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you gone yet?
I have not gone yet, but I've heard great things.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. So we only have a little bit left. Anything that you'd like to touch on, or anything maybe I didn't cover very well that you'd like to highlight?
I will just say that this time of year I get really reflective, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to represent our people in this area. And I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and stays safe. And ultimately, I think the storms the last couple of days have reminded us of the storms that came through around this time of year a few years ago. And so I think there's a lot to be thankful for, and just wanted to say that.
All right. Thank you, Representative Borne. How can people reach out to you very quickly?
217-324-5200 or our website, repborne.com.
All right. Thank you, Representative Borne. Have a happy holiday season.
You too. Thanks.
WTIM Morning Show on WTIM, your information station.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W.